creeps, Andy here, and today I wanted to talk about the most, what was I gonna call this video? I don't know, because I've already lost my list. Most anticipated books of 2023. Now I could just go through and tell you all the books, wait, one second. Now I could go through and tell you all the books that are coming out this year, but I don't know how helpful that is. Instead, I've gone through and selected, I don't know, 7 or 8 books that I am most excited about, and so I wanted to share those with you. They're my most anticipated books of 2023. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's head on through and discuss these because I think this is going to be a good year for reading. There's a lot coming out that I'm very excited about. So the very first thing that I want to talk about, the book that I'm most excited about, is The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. So if you guys don't know, Bret Easton Ellis is the writer of American Psycho. This is his first horror novel since American Psycho. So I am just so excited, waiting for it. I can't wait any longer. I'm so excited to get this. It doesn't have, I don't think, have anything to do with American Psycho, but it seems like it's kind of in that same realm. And so let me just read you what it says. This book, by the way, is coming out January 17th, so very soon. It says, Bret Easton Ellis's masterful new novel is a story about the end of innocence and the perilous passages from adolescence into adulthood. Set in the vibrantly fictionalized Los Angeles in 1981 as a serial killer begins targeting teenagers throughout the city. 17-year-old Bret is a senior at the exclusive Buckley prep school when a new student arrives with a mysterious past. Robert Maloney is bright, handsome, charismatic, and shielding a secret from Bret and his friends, even as he becomes a part of their tightly knit circle. Bret obsesses with, okay, I don't want to read too much about this because I don't want it to I don't want to give too much away even for myself, but it says, set against the intensely vivid and nostalgic backdrop of pre-Less Than Zero LA, The Shards is a mesmerizing fusion of fact and fiction. The real and imagined, the brilliantly explored, and the emotional fabric of Bret's life at 17, sex and jealousy, obsession and murderous rage, deeply haunting and often funny. So this sounds, I mean, it sounds very similar to American Psycho, right? Like Bret using his own personal experience to living with like very well-off people and his frustration maybe with those people in a novel like this. So this sounds fantastic. I'm so excited for it, and in case you guys are Bret Easton Ellis fans, I just had to talk about that one first. The next one is called Just the Nicest Couple and this one is by Mary Kubica. That name might sound familiar if you watch my videos because I recently just read one of her books for the first time and I really liked it. This one has a 3.66 rating. I already forgot what the Bret Easton Ellis one, but it's over a 4. It's almost a 4.5. So that one has fantastic ratings so far. This one has a 3.6. So I don't know, but her last book really blew me away. So I wanted to read this one. It was just a mystery that kind of kept me guessing the whole time. And this one just says, 2 couples, 2 close friends, 1 missing husband. Jake Hayes is missing. This much is certain. At first, his wife Nina thinks that he's blowing off steam at a friend's house after a heated fight the night before. Then a day goes by, then 2, 5, and Jake is still nowhere to be found. Lily Scott, Nina's friend and co-worker, thinks that she might have been the last to see Jake before he went missing. After Lily confesses everything to her husband Christian, the two decide that nobody can find out what happened leading up to Jake's disappearance, especially not Nina. But Nina is out there looking for her husband and she won't stop until the truth is discovered. So it just seems like another interesting thriller book, and if she can keep me guessing the whole time, I'm very excited for it and I'll definitely be picking that up. This one looks interesting as well. So those 2 writers are writers I've read before. This one I have not. This is a 4.25 on Goodreads so far. It's called We're All Lying by Mary Still. Sorry, the Mary Kubica book will be out January 10th. So this one, We're All Lying, will be out March 14th, and this just says, how far would you go to keep what's yours? Someone is haunting Cass. Cass lives an inviolable life, a successful career, 2 great kids, and a handsome husband. Then an email from her husband's mistress, Emma, brings the facade of perfection crumbling around her, setting off a chain of events where buried secrets come back to haunt her. A taunting email turns into stalking and escalates into much worse. Ethan and Cass try to move on, then Emma disappears. No longer considered a victim, Cass finds herself the prime suspect and center of an investigation. Her dark secrets, including ones she didn't even know existed, threaten to destroy everything they've worked for. A fast-paced psychological thriller with jaw-dropping twists, the novel examines buried family secrets and how desperation can lead to fatal mistakes when we're all lying. This one just sounds so fun. I really don't read a crazy amount of thrillers, and so this year I thought it would be fun to dive into a few of them, and that one just sounds so great. This next one I'm very interested in. This one is called Ascension, and this is by Nicholas Binge. This one will be out April 25th. It has a 4.47 rating on Goodreads so far with only 57 reviews. And this one just says a mind-bending spectacular thriller in which the sudden appearance of a mountain in the middle of the Pacific Ocean leads a group of scientists to a series of jaw-dropping revelations that changes the notion of what it means to be human. An enormous snow-covered mountain has appeared in the Pacific Ocean. No one knows exactly when it showed up, precisely how big it is, or how to explain its existence. When Harold Tunmore, a scientist of mysterious phenomenon, is contacted by a shadowy organization to help the investigation, he has no idea what he is getting into, and he and his team set out for the mountain. The higher Harold's team ascends, the less things make sense. Time moves differently, turning minutes to hours and hours into days. Amid the whipping cold of higher elevation, the climbers' limbs numb, and memories of their lives before the mountain begin to fade. Paranoia quickly turns to violence among the crew, and slithering ancient creatures pursue them in the snow. Still, as the danger increases, the mystery of the mountain compels them to the peak, where they are certain they will find their answers. Have they stumbled upon the greatest scientific discovery known to man, or the seeds of their own demise? Framed by the discovery of Harold Tunmore's unsent letters to his family, the chilling and provocative story they tell, Ascension considers the limitations of science and faith and examines both the beautiful and unsettling sides of human nature. This seems right up my alley. It seems really, really interesting. And then here's another one about lying. So this is called Everyone Here Is Lying. This is by Sherry LaPena, and this has a 4.0 stars so far, and it has 5 ratings, and this one will be out July 25th. Now I have kind of mixed feelings about Sherry LaPena. I've read LaPena, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I read one of her books, The Couple Next Door, and it was not for me at all. Like, I really did not enjoy that book. And then I read another book of hers, An Unwanted Guest, and absolutely loved it. So I think that this will kind of be my gauge moving forward, you know, how I feel more about her writing. But I'm very excited to read this one. I think that it's interesting and also good to give writers a second chance, because you never know if a book just wasn't for you or not. And this one says, welcome to Stanhope, a safe neighborhood, a place for families. William Wooler is a family man on the surface, but he's been having an affair that ended horribly this afternoon at a motel up the road. So when he turns to his house, devastated and angry, returns to find his difficult 9-year-old daughter Avery unexpectedly home from school, William loses his temper. Hours later, Avery's family declare her missing. Suddenly, Stanhope doesn't feel so safe. And William isn't the only one on the streets who's hiding a life. As witnesses come forward with information that may or may not be true, Avery's neighbors become increasingly unhinged. Who took Avery Wooler? Nothing will prepare you for the truth. Coming soon. So yeah, that one just seems interesting, and I'm excited to read it and yeah, see how I feel about her newer books. The next one is a new writer that I found. I don't know if you guys are like me, but any story or movie about a writer, I'm in. Horror or mystery story about a writer, I'm in. I don't know what it is, but this is called The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This has a 3.87 on Goodreads so far score, and this just says the plot meets Please Join Us and the psychological suspense debut as about a young author at an exclusive writer's retreat and descends into a nightmare. It says Alex has all but given up on her dreams of becoming a published author. I know that feeling. And when she receives a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, attend an exclusive month-long retreat at the estate of feminist horror writer Rosa Vallo. Even the knowledge that Ren, her former best friend and current rival, is attending doesn't dampen her excitement. But then when the attendees arrive, Rosa drops a bombshell. They must all complete an entire novel from scratch during the next month, and the author with the best one receives a life-changing 7-figure publishing deal. Determined to win in the seemingly impossible contest, Alex buckles down and tries to ignore the strange happenings at the estate, including Rosa's erratic behavior, Ren's cruel mind games, and the alleged haunting of the mansion itself. But when one of the riders vanishes during a snowstorm, Alex realizes that something very sinister is afoot. With the clock running out, she's desperate to discover the truth and save herself. A claustrophobic and propulsive thriller exploring the dark side of friendship and fame, The Writing Retreat is unputdownable debut novel from a compelling new writer. So I like reading new writers too, and I'm excited to read this. And I also love when book reviews say it's unputdownable. I don't know why, but that word is just hilarious to me. That one will be out, did I already say? February 21st. And then the last two, my friends, are from Mrs. Darcy Coates herself. and she is coming out with 2 books that I know of so far, and the first one is called Dead of Winter. This has 2 ratings with a 5-star review thus far, and you guys know I'm a huge Darcy Coates fan. If you guys want to see me talk about her books, I will leave those videos down below. I have a ranking of every book that I've read, and then also kind of just like a overview of what her books are like. So this one says, Dead of Winter, a remote cabin in the snowy wilderness thriller that will teach you to trust no one. There are 8 strangers, 1 killer, nowhere left to run. When Krista joins a tour group heading deep into the snowy expanse of the Rocky Mountains, she's hopeful this will be her chance to put the ghosts of her past to rest. But when a bitterly cold snowstorm sweeps the region, the snow group is forced to take shelter in an abandoned hunting cabin. Despite the uncomfortable claustrophobic quarters and rapidly dropping temperatures, Krista believes that they'll be safe as they wait out the storm. She couldn't be more wrong. Deep in the night, the tour guide goes missing, only to be discovered the following morning, his severed head impaled on a tree outside the cabin. Sorry. Terrified and completely isolated by the storm, Krista finds herself trapped with the 8 total strangers. One of them kills for sport, and they're far from finished. As the storm grows more dangerous and the number of survivors dwindles to 1, Krista must decide who she can trust before the frozen mountain becomes her tomb. This just sounds fantastic, and I'm so excited to read it. This one comes out July 11th, but if you need some Darcy Coates before then, my friends, she's coming out with a book called The Twisted Dead. Now this is the part of the Gatekeepers series, and this is the 3rd part, so there are 2 before it, so you'll need to catch up on those before you get to this one. However, this one so far has the highest ratings. It has a 4.29 on Goodreads, and it says Kira... I don't know if I should read this because I don't know if you guys have read the other 2 yet, so I don't want to give too much away. Basically, it's a story about a young girl who wakes up in the middle of the forest and doesn't remember her past, but she ends up making her way into town and befriending the people there. There's people chasing her and she loses them, and she finds out that she can talk to ghosts. So she's been helping in the town to make contact with the ghosts and kind of help them move forward. But I won't read this because I don't know if it'll give away anything of the last 2 books. And I'm reading the 2nd one now, so I haven't even read that one. But that one will be out February 7th, pretty soon. So if you guys want to pick up the first 2 Gatekeepers, is that what it was called? Gravekeepers? You know, you get what I'm saying. Then do that before February. So those are my most anticipated books of the year. My first one, the one that I'm going to read the quickest when it comes out, is definitely The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. Let me know what books you are looking forward to this year, and hopefully this video was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another horror video. Bye guys!